Hey, welcome to Flight Test. I'm David and this is Josh.
Hi.
Discus Launch Gliding, or DLG. Competition name is F3K. This is really popular, especially in Europe.
Really expensive.
It is expensive, but there's a reason for it. It's handmade, and that's why it's expensive, and it's super lightweight. And just everything is so fine and so nice.
And the reason we're covering this is because you guys asked for it.
Earlier, we went out and flew
Much earlier.
Much earlier. It was actually about 3 months ago.
At least there's no leaves on the trees.
Yeah, and it was cold. It was really cold. This is the technique that works for me, and I'm gonna teach Josh how to do my technique, and he'll find out his technique later. So spin around, you throw it.
Wow.
You're supposed to throw it at the horizon. You hold it on your pads on your fingers. You don't grip this. You don't have it like that. You have it on your pads.
On the pads, okay.
And it just slides off.
Okay.
Like, when it comes to that point, it automatically launches itself. Keep your arms straight out, because that's the counterbalance, the other arm.
Okay.
So turn around, you stop with that foot, and then you just continue with your body, like the turning of the torso.
All right, I want to follow. I want to follow you here. I'm gonna get behind you so I can follow you.
Left foot is always going to be forward, so you're going to take that step, stop there. So you see you have that turn here where you put this snap into it. This is the.
All right.
Always into the wind, out with the arm, keep counterbalance.
All right.
And try it. That's pretty good.
That's really fun.
Like I say, it's all about technique. It's all, when you do a perfect discus launch, it never.
That's amazing. So obviously you recommend people doing lots of soft just to get the technique down before they really go for.
Yeah, you have to do hard ones too, because otherwise you won't feel what muscles you're using.
Yeah.
Because if you do it right, you don't feel it. It doesn't. I can throw maybe 100 times in a day and I barely feel it.
And you're just spinning. It's mostly with your abdominal muscles.
Yeah. It's just a turning motion. Never bend the arm. I did that in the beginning and it hurt so bad.
And then right at the top, right there.
Let's push it out full stick and then just fly it around.
Oh my gosh, it just floats.
So I can put you in cruise mode.
All right. You know, there's a gentle breeze and you don't feel it at all.
You can tell what the plane is doing. Whenever the tail pops out a bit, that's usually when you get into a thermal, because the tail is so much lighter than the wing. So that's how you see you entering a thermal. The battery ran out on the Discus Launch Glider I had then. I bought a new Discus Launch Glider since then. It is the Neos from a company called Armsor. Okay. It's a really nice carbon fiber machine, really nice. I thought you could try this out. It's a higher end machine than the other.
It has rudder on it too.
It does have rudder. It's my first machine that actually has rudder.
Okay.
I thought we would just continue where we were.
Okay.
You practicing and we can talk about the plane then. Always, when you fly a Discus Launch Glider or any glider for that matter, chuck it into the wind and feel it out and see that nothing is wrong with it.
Feels good?
That was long.
That was long. I'll go get it. Okay. I don't want you to get sweaty.
I'm already sweating. While he's getting that, I want to thank Andreas and Kajakmannen for teaching me my discus launch technique that I use. Actually, it's pretty close to their technique, but every technique is your own. You start out with something that you've been taught by someone else, and then you modify it until it fits your personal style. So just get tips from everyone else and then form your own technique. That's my tip.
That's the tip.
Yeah, that's the tip.
Okay.
And that's another tip.
Yes, pads of the fingers.
Yes, and on a Discus Launch Glider you have a lot of flight modes. The first one being launch mode. So you hold that while you're rotating, and that gives you a little bit up elevator. On this model I actually have a bit of spoilerons.
Okay.
So it's going up, so it's creating less drag while you're rotating it upwards.
Nice.
And then you have normal or penetration mode. That's the normal mode. That's when the airfoil is flat and then you have slightly under-cambered, which is what you normally use when you're flying around.
In a thermal or?
In light lift.
Okay.
And then you have crazy thermal mode, which
that's just basically where it stops and goes straight up, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what normally you use.
Nice.
And also you have air brakes on the throttle, so you can...
I keep on chopping my throttle like it's going to slow it down, and it does slow it down, but I do it while I'm flying.
Which is not good.
Not you're supposed to do that.
Okay, so yeah, let's see if your technique is still there.
I doubt it, but we'll find out. Okay, it's pads on the fingers. Go around.
That's pretty good. It stuck a little bit too much to your finger.
Yeah, you nailed it.
When you throw, always throw into the wind, throw it at the horizon. The plane is going to rotate on its own. Do not throw it upwards. It's never you're never going to get the same altitude. That's the air brake. Oh, I almost got it.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to catch it.
Me neither.
Try it again?
Yeah, try again.
All right, less pad this time.
Less pad, and yeah, keep it. It releases on its own. If you hold it on the pad, it's going to rotate off on its own.
Off on my finger. Okay.
See, yeah. I see.
Too early, huh?
Too early. Continue your rotation. If you're standing facing the direction you're gonna throw it, you want it to fly off in that direction. Do not release it when you're 270 degrees. You should rotate all 360 degrees and throw it.
One more time?
Yeah, try again. Just try again. Now this is an expensive airplane. And all Discus launch gliders more or less are, just because of the handiwork that goes into them. They're handmade and everything.
I still threw it too early, but I'm starting to feel like what it's not supposed to be like.
Exactly. It's all about creating that muscle memory. That's really all it is.
It's funny because I love how you just pour on the coals and it just picks up so much speed.
The air brakes is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it keeps you from doing the walk of shame. I like how it puts it in the attitude to land without busting your tail too.
Yeah. Tip for you if you want to get started in discus launch gliding, get a cheap plane, preferably a used one is a really good idea. Anything really that you can throw that's meant for discus launch gliding is a good idea. Like the Alula you can try out, but I would actually recommend getting a bigger airframe so you get the feel for the proper size. So I would, a Top Sky or the Hobby King Versus, any of those is going to work. It's not as good as this when you're flying and when you're launching, but it's going to get you started and it's going to make you develop that discus launch technique, and that's what's important. And you can get a nicer plane later. Oh, nice.
The camera guy.
Luckily there's not much energy in it.
No. Okay, we'll try one more time here. I'm feeling it, but not in my arms, which is a good sign, right?
That's a good sign, yeah. Don't pull in the arm. I saw you pull in the other arm too early before you release it.
Okay.
So keep the other arm straight out as you rotate and then release it, then pull it in.
Okay.
You can rotate the arm in a little later, but it looks better.
Is it getting there?
It's getting there.
Well, obviously you can't mash this overnight, right?
Exactly. It's like a golf swing, really. Even though I don't play golf, I'm guessing that's what it is. I've heard stories.
I love is the fact that, you think, okay, I can't do another circle, but you can.
But you can. You can do 2 or 3 circles. It just keeps on getting that lift. And really what discus launch gliding is about is milking the energy from Mother Nature. Usually what you try to do is get into a thermal, and that is hot air that's rising, because when the sun comes out, different parts of the ground is heated in different at different speeds because they're dark or light, and that difference in temperature makes the hot air rises faster, so the cold air is going to rush underneath and feed that. So it's going to make a nice hot air funnel that's going upwards, and you can use that energy to your advantage. So you can do this by watching the air around you, like the small things, like birds are particularly good at this. If you see birds circling, it's always a thermal bubble or a funnel of some kind. That's like one of the first things you can look for. Other things is if you see trees moving in different directions, you know there's a spinning force. And that means you're probably inside of the funnel, especially if it blows. You can feel a wind and then it stops, and then you can feel a wind again. Then that thermal passed through you. Like, not through you, over you, by you, on you. It passed. Let's go with that. What do you think of the plane, Josh?
I love it. It's so agile. It is what you said though, all about using energy and it's just awesome.
Isn't it?
Now, I don't have the techniques for throwing down, but I'm really enjoying the flight experience. And even for a poorly thrown plane,
it stays
like
up.
I do, it stays up a long time. So it's not like, oh, if you don't get it just right, you don't get any flying time. You still get plenty of time. You can still hook a thermal, it seems. It gets bobbed around. That's probably where just as much technique goes into finding the thermals as throwing, right?
Yeah, you read what the plane is doing. If it's bobbing, there's air movement. If there's air movement, there's lift.
Very cool. All right, your turn?
No, I'll throw it for you. Let's go in that area.
That's definitely a lot better of a throw. You got me about 40% higher, didn't you?
Yeah, you don't have to throw. Usually when you throw at 80% power, unless you really have to get up there in like a competition.
Is that for fatigue or something?
Not fatigue. Yeah, you can destroy the plane, but you get more control usually. When you don't try and use all the power, you can still control it. It's just a nice thing to think about.
I'm trying to do what I did do last time. Before I used to just push it right into the wind. I'm trying to go across the wind, right?
Yeah, go across the wind, search, go erratic patterns, trying to see what the plane is doing. But also, anytime you do an adjustment, you're losing lift because you're inducing drag, and that is never good. So the less you do on the sticks, the more lift you're gonna, the more energy you're gonna retain.
Very cool.
So actually, when you're in a nice big thermal, you can fly with the trims, and it's like you trim it and it just stays there. It's really nice.
There is an immense amount of control authority you have on this.
Yeah, it's nice to have, especially you can actually fly these on a slope in a very light breeze.
That's
or
cool.
Even a crazy breeze for that matter. Just increase the throws even more.
Okay.
The more because you need a lot of deflection when
the gut hits you and things like that.
Yeah.
Some would think that this is actually would be considered less stable. It's not less stable. It's just more agile.
It's telling you what the air is doing more than the other plane is. And it's this airfoil is just crazy. It's even though you camber it down, it just continues to give lift and lift, and never really stalls badly on you.
Nice.
It's a really good machine, but it is pricey.
And speaking of pricey, you bought this with your own money, so you get to give your assessment of it.
I would actually personally recommend this plane, which is not something I usually say.
He actually likes it.
I like it. I actually love it. The finish, beautiful. The all weight is very low, but it still penetrates good. And it's just a beautifully built machine for the price. I mean,
wow, it definitely performs. And actually, it's inspired me. I'm a cheapskate. I want to build one on the foam.
Yeah, good luck with that. Because this is carbon fiber, all carbon fiber. And when you launch it, there's a lot of G-force going on.
A lot of energy.
Even this flexes.
I see that. I see that.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy. The all-up weight on this one is 270 grams.
Which computes to less than 10 ounces.
Yes.
It's like 9 ounces.
9 ounces something. And look at the air surface you have, the wing surface.
Yeah, and even in breezy weather, it still penetrates, which is amazing too, because you think something light wouldn't have any penetration power. But it does.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Thank you for the education, brother.
Sure. I'm gonna fly it, and you can close it.
I can close it, okay. That just never gets old. Well, he's up there. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for your requests, suggestions, projects, challenges. They all keep us going. They all keep us with future goals. And I also want to thank you for your support through the store. So I want to encourage you to go to Facebook, search us out, Flite Test, and like us. I think that's the terminology. And I'm going to watch him go thermal now.
And really what discus launch gliding is about is milking the energy from Mother Nature.